When I was a young boy, I lived a regular life, going fishing and playing kick the can. Things that just kids did, skateboarding and riding bicycles and getting into little mischiefy things and everything. And then my parents got a divorce, and it kind of ruined my thought of what life was all about at that time, which was all ice cream and candy and good and movies and going on vacation, things like that, that people do when they're in a family and they enjoy stuff that they do. Not knowledgeable of what the parents are going through at this time. I took it to heart. I felt my life was just a ping pong game between my dad and my mom. And I remember some really bad times during all their fighting and drinking and alcoholism throughout the family. As I continue with what my story, you will find out that continued on through the family. The thing is that I'm not coming to you to tell you this story about being a nice kid and having a good time as a kid. I'm having this conversation with you to let you know that all that can go away in a heartbeat if you do drugs, if you drink alcohol to excess, if you don't follow the law and commit crime. All of these things which I am guilty of. I don't wish on anybody. So I say, don't go there. Don't go to where I've been. Which is after my parents got divorced, I took it that now I was the boss of my life. I was only like 13 years old when I decided I'm going to start doing things my way, which was committing small crimes and doing mischievous things, that I didn't think amounted to anything, but they eventually built up to me doing bigger things, being more bold and doing drugs and drinking and all these other things that I'm trying to get through to you that it's what led me to where I'm at right now, telling you, don't go there. I was about 13 years old and I ended up in reform school. I didn't learn my lesson in there. I had to go back a second time. There I learned how to become a barber after staying there 13 months on my own mission of staying there. I learned how to be a better criminal. I might not pronounce that right. But started doing drugs, smoking pot, drinking liquor, heavy liquor, and being a barber. For over 35 years I've been a barber, but that's all in the past now. Being a barber, I was able to purchase anything that I wanted because I was making the bucks. Any kind of drug I wanted, anything. Well, it didn't take long before I blew it. You know, I blew it big time. And I ended up in the penitentiary. You don't want to go there. I was in Mansfield, which was a terrible place. Ghost hunters go there now. I don't know how to express to you how much you don't know about going into places like that. Example number one, there was a young man in there who got beat and raped right in the cell next to mine. And there wasn't nothing I could do. Nothing. Mind your own business. Get killed. Well, I got out of the prison thing and ended up traveling around the country, doing as much drugs and drinking as much alcohol as I possibly can all around the line. And I ended up going down to Florida and ended up married down there. Now, it didn't take long for me to start thinking I was the big guy again, and I had a barber shop down in Florida, wife and a child, and I blew it, back to drinking and drugging. Cop pulled me over, I got in a fight with him, I ended up in prison again. Did my time, got out, got in a motorcycle wreck, about killed myself. Suffered a severe head injury. So I went back to home, and they had to drive me around the streets of my own hometown in order to gain the memory back. I still stop and think before I say, because I don't want to repeat myself too much. Suffered a severe head injury from that motorcycle accident. Busted everything on the right side here. Recovery was tough, but not. I remembered the drugs, the alcohol. They kept me going. Well, in order to get all that, I had to act stupid. Well, one day that I wasn't acting stupid, I was helping somebody and got shot point blank with a .30-06. Deer rifle to you hunters. From me to your computer. Spent 3 months in the hospital, lost 100 pounds. They told my family, you better make arrangements, because they thought I was going to die. My lungs collapsed a couple times, all the other stuff that happened while I was in the hospital. I almost lost my life. When I got out of the hospital, still didn't learn. I was still drinking and still drugging, not as heavy as I was, because I was, in the old days, I was doing everything. Shooting up drugs. Dropping acid in my eyes. Heroin. you name it, I did it. Well, I ended up in a town just outside my hometown, and I ended up in a church, Baptist church at that. Preacher told me 13 years ago to stop what I was doing because he could see me better lying in state. That's dead. Instead of watching me walk around and destroy myself like I was. That was 13 years ago. Over 13 years ago. Sober for 13 years. That day I went home, dropped out what beer I had in the refrigerator, alcohol and whatever, dumped it all out. Haven't messed with it since. Been sober ever since. But just a few years later I learned that I had hepatitis C that I contracted from shooting up dope. And that they don't have no cure for me because the cure would have killed me a lot sooner. So I'm here to give the message out to you. Don't mess with these drugs and alcohol and commit crime and disobey your parents. Discard the hate in your life. It's by the grace of God that I'm alive. Thank you for listening to my story. I will tell you more on a personal basis. Get a hold of me, chat here, contact me, whatever. If you need help, if you'd like me to do a presentation with music, some of my music, or a CD, or whatever you want to get in contact with me about, if it's just to say hi, please do so. Catch you on the rebound.